I just got back from the 2025 USBC Open Championships down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and here's a recap of how my event went to either help you if you're going to the event in the future, you want to go in the future, or give you a little bit of information about what you probably saw when you bowled there in the past. A couple of months ago, I had a video go out giving you a preview of what to expect at the USBC Open Championships, and I just went to the event with my team and we just got back. So I want to give you guys a little bit more in-depth detail of what I saw, how I ended up bowling, what bowling balls I ended up bringing, what you should probably think of bringing for future events, either this event or ones in the coming years. So let's start off with how my event went. So going down there, I brought 6 bowling balls. I was flying, so 6 bowling balls is generally easiest, trying to catch on that Southwest policy where you can have 2 bags for free until they change it very, very soon. Very disappointed to see that. But what I ended up bringing were the Motive Jackal Onyx, the Rotogrip Optimum Idol Solid, the Motive Tank Blitz for my fake urethane. I didn't really want to bring urethane, but I wanted something kind of like the Storm Level because it looks like that thing's been doing pretty well. So I brought that ball. I brought my trusty Scorpion Low Flare. I brought my 900 Global Zen 25, and then of course a plastic ball. Let's start off with a team event. The team event this year, that pattern feels nearly identical to past years. It feels shorter. There isn't a crazy amount of volume. The one big difference this year is the gutter doesn't hook almost at all. It starts off where there's hang around the 1, 2, 3 board. So anything that hits 1, 2, or 3 down lane never hooks. It just stays there. It wiggles. You're going to 210. You're going to wash out. You're going to come in light. It's just not good. So that makes it really, really hard because the rest of the pattern is virtually flat except for that outside. So the biggest tip that I offer to you guys is play as a team. If you do not play the lanes as a team, they are going to get really, really gross. For a little context, my team ended up shooting 3,000. I believe we shot 3,009 or 3,008. It was a really, really good set. We had 4 righties, 1 lefty, but what we did is we all stuck to a game plan of breaking down the outside and then slowly transitioning in. If you have anybody doing anything different, the lanes get disgusting. One of our pairs, somebody ended up throwing urethane. The lanes got absolutely atrocious. His look was really good. He did really well. Rest of the team couldn't do anything because of that extra carry down lane. So if you even have one person go away from the game plan, your entire team set can be absolutely destroyed. One of the most interesting and unique parts of the national championships is actually breaking down the lanes in your favor because you're on the same pair of lanes for all 3 games per team. So breaking them down exactly how you want is the most important piece to be able to get these high scores. That's how these teams are able to shoot such high scores out there. Now this year, scores are bonkers low. I believe the high 3-game series is like 730 right now. So it is absolutely insanely low. So you really need to play together. Be okay with shooting 600. Like I said, our team shot a little over 3,000. I shot 584. I was actually pretty happy about that. One, because I threw the ball like absolute dumpster. It was terrible. I did not throw the ball very well at all. I actually started my first game with 4 opens. I think I went baby split, missed the head pin left because I missed, I think, 2 boards left and the ball went flying. And then I whiffed on a 3-6-10, whiffed on a 9 pin because my spare ball was hooking. And then I ended up shooting 190 that game, which was great. But I shot 584. What I ended up doing is throwing the Motive Tank Blitz. The reason the Tank Blitz was my favorite ball for this, it is so slow down lane. Very, very smooth, very slow. However, what I noticed in practice is if you threw something too strong, like my Jackal Onyx, it never could do anything. It just hooked way too early. So you needed a ball to get through the front part of the lane, get down lane a little bit, but still be very, very smooth down lane. So even my Scorpion Low Flare was too angular down lane. And what we also noticed as a team is the minute you added any axis rotation to the ball, axis rotation is how much the ball spins this way compared to this way. The more that axis rotation that you added, or if you weren't right up the back of the ball, you had no chance of hitting the pocket. You had 0 chance. It was very, very difficult. So my ball of choice was a Tank Blitz. Some other bowling balls of choice for the event. We had a Storm Level on our pair. We had the Ion Pro. We had an old Rotogrip TNT that looked really good. Our lefty ended up throwing a Proton Physics for most of the event. As a lefty, this is very difficult because you break the lanes down slower because there's usually less of you. So as a lefty, you got to bring some smooth equipment. His Proton looked incredible, so that thing was absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, the smoother the bowling ball is, the better it is for team event. Like I said, we shot a little over 3,000. We're actually leaving the event in 35th place, which is crazy because we barely shot 3,000. Most other years, that wouldn't stay as a top 100 score. This year, it's definitely top 100. We're hoping it stays top 50. More realistically, going to be top 75. But that is the team event. You want to play as a team. You want to play straight. The minute you start playing left, you are going to be in world of trouble. You got to play straight on that thing. You just have to control the pocket and just not have those atrociously bad games. Stay away from the 150s, make your bad games 175, 180. You'll be good to go. So let's move on to doubles and singles. This is where you take a little more of a breath of fresh air. This one was actually not that bad. So for double singles, I ended up shooting 580 and then 6-0 for my events. 581 and 602, I believe, for my doubles and then singles. This pattern is a lot longer. There's a lot more hold in the middle of the lane, a lot more oil in general. However, the gutter does hook. So what I ended up doing is I was throwing an optimum idle solid up around 2, 3, 4 board for the first game and a half. I just was playing directly up the lane, letting the idle do its thing because it was so smooth that if it got to the right, it actually would hook off of the gutter, which was great. My partner and I ended up starting with a 493 in doubles. It went super terrible after that. Unfortunately, the lanes get really cliffed really fast. And if you watch any of our bowling terms videos, you know that cliffed means there's a lot of oil in the middle of the lane, not much oil on the outside. That's what we ended up running into. So my optimum idle ended up either when I missed right, it would hook too much. If I missed left, it never would hook. It got really gross in that way. That's what we ran into for the rest of double singles. That's what most people run into for double singles. So what I recommend for that event is using stronger equipment that's smoother. Now, again, my Jackal Onyx was too much ball. It was very surprising. I thought that ball would be really good on it. It was just way too strong, way too strong. I ended up putting 1,000 grit on it. That was probably too much. So you don't want too strong of a bowling ball. Because for me, for my ball roll, for my ball speed, I need stronger bowling balls. So for most of you out there, you'd probably be good with getting away with optimum idles, phase 2s, game breaker 5s, lethal venoms, things like that'll be really good. You might not need that top of the top ball in the bag if you play the lanes correctly. If you play the lanes a little bit too far left, you might need that stronger ball just to have a chance. But doubles and singles also, I recommend playing as far right as a righty or as far left as a lefty as you possibly can. By the end of the tournament, I believe I was throwing the Zen 25 up 11, like 11-5 was my spot. So you don't have to get very far left. No one really gets left of 15 at this entire event. It's just not a good idea. The topography of the lanes are pretty bad. We're very much confident that USBC had some mess ups when installing the lanes. They put them in a little quickly, so the topography is a little bit weird on some of them. So you want to stay further right. You want to stay closer to the gutter, and that is generally the best play for team, doubles, and singles. So overall, I ended up shooting about a 1760. I left a lot of pins out there. For team, I very much could have gotten to 650 if I threw it a little bit better. For double singles, I should have shot 650 at a minimum. The lanes were easy enough for that. I just did not throw it that great. Still dealing with some physical changes that I'm making to my game. Overall, the lanes are manageable this year. The lanes are very doable as long as you have the right ball in your hand and as long as you play the lanes as a team. Like I said, team, we all started very much together and we moved across the lane together. We didn't have anybody breaking the game plan, anybody doing anything to destroy the lane. Now, doubles and singles is the same way. We all played together, we all broke them down together, and that ended up making them a little bit easier for some of us. So we had a lot of high scores on our sets. The other team that was with us in team is in second in the standard division right now, which is incredible. Our team, like I said, was in about 34th, 35th place when we were leaving. Doubles and singles, we had a couple higher scores. A lot of people are cashing. Most of the pairs for our team are cashing in doubles and singles. So I think we did pretty well as a team. Of course, there are those teams that absolutely knocked it out of the park. Ours did pretty well in general as long as we played the lanes together. So what should you get out of this if you have bowled the USBC Open Championships? Hopefully this gives you a little bit of idea of how the lanes actually were. The patterns are pretty much identical to 2024 is what I'm seeing. It's just the surfaces are a little bit different. Now, if you are bowling it, hopefully this can help you bowl a little bit better in May, June, or July when you end up going stronger equipment, smoother equipment, then you'll be good to go. And also, if you've never bowled this event, it is an absolute spectacle. USBC does an incredible, incredible job. I highly recommend going out to bowl the USBC Open Championships. It's an amazing time. It is doable to cash. It is easy-ish, not easy-ish, but it is manageable to cash because as long as you're picking up a lot of spares, as long as you're hitting the pocket a few times, you can do really well out there and make some good money. Now, you don't have to be the best bowler in the world to go. You can be in any of the 3 divisions. There's 3 different divisions that are going out there. You can average 140 and still make a lot of money. One of the teams that went with us was in the bottom division. They won the event last year. They actually are now in first place again as a team, which is absolutely, they bowled incredible, out of their minds. But they had their series were like 540, 450, 450. So you don't have to be the greatest bowler in the world to go out there and compete. Go get 4 people, go get 4 league members, do some practices together and go out there, have a great time. It's an incredible event. They have amazing announcers. They have amazing everything out there. So shout out USBC. You do a great job. I recommend any bowlers who enjoy bowling trying out the event at least once. The final thing I want to go off of is a huge, huge thank you to everybody that we met out there. I believe we met 10 people who check out the channel or who knew me in some way, shape, or form out there. Huge thank you to everybody that came up and said hi. It was amazing to talk to every single one of you in different ways. I met some of you at the convention center. I met some of you at the casino in New Orleans, which was awesome. So huge thank you to everybody. It was great to see all of you that were out there. Hopefully in some future bowling events coming up, I can meet a lot more of you. Thank you everyone who we saw out there. But otherwise, that is my recap of the USBC Open Championships. Let me know down below what you thought of the event if you've gone, or if you plan on going in the future, or if you have any questions about the event as a whole. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd really appreciate a subscription if you can, completely free, and then you get notified every time one of our videos goes live. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.